I'm very happy to be here, of course. It's a great opportunity to come to Lisbon and to meet you all. I hope that after the talks and while we have some pizza, we get to talk and to know each other. So I am a front-end developer, and let me ask, who here is a front-end developer? Okay, surely more than 50%, maybe 70 or 80. So I guess it's fair to say that most of us are front-end developers. And so this talk is about how we as front-end developers can enter in the world of nodebots. So this is me. I am, or I was, well, I still am a full-stack developer at mLearn, a Brazilian startup, but I am actually just changing jobs. Starting this Monday, I will be working in irc.com. We are going to make IRC great again, and I will be working on several apps to make IRC as attractive as Slack or Discord, but using open source, open protocols like IRC. I am also developer expert, a progress developer expert, and I got into that for my work with native script Vue. If you guys don't know what it is, but I know that a few months ago there was a talk on that subject, so most of you probably already know a lot about it. But it's like React Native, but with Vue and using native script, which is an awesome platform, an awesome framework to work with. So I am quite involved in that community. You can find me there quite easily. I also like Laravel, PHP. That's my go-to backend framework. I also like to tinker with SVGs and Wix, which is another native native framework with Vue. And I also like hedgehogs. They are like my spiritual animal, and I really love them. They are awesome. Yeah, so that's it. If any one of you want to talk to me about any of these subjects, they are free to talk to. So those are my handlers, how you can find me online. Okay, so JavaScript. As you know, JavaScript right now rules the front end. We are quite used to work with JavaScript on the front end. There are frameworks, all that. It's like JavaScript was made for the front end. But when Node.js came along, we also got JavaScript on the back end. So it's not just for the pretty stuff on the surface, it's also the dark parts of the internet, like the services, the APIs, all that. We can also use JavaScript to code that. But not only that, we can also enter the world, the frightening world of hardware. So I put there Cthulhu. Yeah, it's really frightening, but it's very cool. So why would I want to code hardware with JavaScript? Well, since this is a JavaScript group, I don't have a lot to tell you, because I bet that everyone here loves JavaScript as much as I do. And I really love JavaScript. For instance, when I find this error, undefined is not a function, this is like this is a very Zen message. It's like the tree does not exist, so we cannot give apples. You know, it's like that kind of message, and every time I see this message, I feel like I am more deeply connected with the universe. Also, we all love JavaScript because it has its own personality. For instance, I can tell I can say JavaScript. I have a variable which is not a number. And then right away I ask, hey, JavaScript, what is the type of A? And it will tell me it's a number. So it has its own personality, and that's why we love the JavaScript. Okay, this was kind of a joke. Actually, JavaScript is really good to work with hardware because it's asynchronous. So we have promises, we have callbacks, and it's like a style of programming that we are used to do with JavaScript. And also event-driven. When we do like the traditional way to code with hardware, it's like you have a big loop, and the program is always running through that loop and catching all the different pieces that are entering each time the code enters that loop. But with JavaScript, we can like wait for a sensor to trigger something, and then wait for a button to be clicked. You know, it's more event-driven, so it's easier to code with JavaScript. Also, of course, it's already on our toolbox, so you don't have to learn C or Python. You can go with what you already know. And it's fast to code. It's very fast to start hacking. And most of all, it's fun. It's really fun to code and to do these kind of things with JavaScript. And of course, this pro tip, always bet on the JavaScript. So you are solid with the JavaScript. Okay, how can I program hardware with JavaScript? So the JavaScript plus hardware, like nuts and bolts, equals nodebots. If you want to start digging into this world, that is the word that you should be writing on Google. Nodebots. It's like the overall project, the umbrella project where several different JavaScript projects enter. My favorite is Johnny 5, which is like an API, a very simple API I will show later. And I really like this API, and that's what I will show you. So, okay, J5 Py2Go. This is a project that I want to show you, but before I show you that project, I want to tell you a sad story. So, yeah, okay. This is Junior, my late hedgehog. I really like this hedgehog. One day, he poked his own eye off. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. One morning, his eye was like hanging on his face. But I said, okay, I will put an eye patch, but I thought about upgrading my hedgehog in different ways. So I thought about adding like a bionic eye or something. So I was having all kinds of projects to improve my hedgehog. Unfortunately, he, like, very soon he disappeared, and I never found him again, so I could never get to do this with Junior. So I started digging on the internet how I could code, how I could create a robot that looks like an hedgehog. And I found this little guy. Okay, that's the same there. So this is a Py2Go, which is like a kit that comes ready to work. It has a Raspberry Pi here. It's this green board over here. And then the kit comes with all the wheels, the motors, the sensors, it's all ready to go. This kit comes ready to go with to code with Python, but I really wanted to use JavaScript, so I used Johnny 5 and Node. And so right now in that Raspberry Pi there is a small Linux distribution with a small Node server that that is running along with Johnny 5. So that's cool. But because I am a front-end developer and because I also love Vue.js, I built a front-end in Vue, of course, with Vuex, material design, all that. And the communication uses socket.io. I want to show you, but first I have to do this. And I have to do this. Okay. So here we go. This is a project that I built with all those technologies that I told you. And oh my God, I thought this would happen. Right now, the robot is not yet talking with my computer. I am going to reset it and hope that it will connect later. But okay, this is like a Vue.js app with Vuex, and I really want to show you this working. But, oh my God, now I have to connect to my Raspberry Pi and start the Node server again. You know, this is the problem with working with hardware, because it will fail you when you absolutely did not want to. Let me see again. Yeah, I'm on this Node app. Okay. Okay, I cannot show you. Damn it. But believe me, this thing would control the robot. I'm so sad now. Okay, I will show you a video of what happened in my the last time that I did this talk. I was controlling the robot, and then, whoa, I saved the robot. Yeah, in that talk, at least, it worked. Okay. I know, of course, wait. Okay, maybe later it will work, but now the show must go on. Okay, the show must go on. So, how do you start this? Okay, present. Yeah. So this is what happens with Raspberry Pi. Node, I have a Node server running inside this Raspberry Pi. When we work with Arduino, the architecture is quite different. For starters, Arduino is also awesome. You can buy a kit like this with Arduino and a breadbox, LEDs, and all kinds of stuff for about 20 euros. And so it's very cheap to grab a kit and start hacking. But unlike with the Raspberry Pi, with the Arduino, you have to run the server or on your computer on a host, and then you connect to the Arduino with USB, and you have to load a program in the Arduino called Firmata, which is like a program that makes the interface between the USB and the rest of the hardware. So this is how it works. So it's demo time for more things to break. Okay, I think I can show you the Raspberry Pi. Let's see. Okay, I am this console over here, and down here is connected in the Raspberry Pi, and see the JP. Okay, so now I am starting the Node server inside the Raspberry Pi. I think I can even make this bigger just so you can see. Yeah, it takes some time. This is like an old Raspberry Pi, it's kind of slow. Yeah. I think it's only second generation. Come on. You know that when you are here, the time goes like 1,000 times slower. Okay. Yeah. Also, Socket.io works great. I didn't have to reload this page, but already I can see that it's connected. So I can show that this works. Here, this doesn't work. Why is that? Because I needed more power. Damn it. Yeah, the batteries are not good. I added a power bank on top just to see if the batteries would run, but they don't. I can show you the other stuff. For instance, the LEDs. It's not as fun as the engines, but okay. I can change these LEDs here, blue and red and green. I will leave the front LED with a Vue.js green, something like this. And yeah, I can do the same with this LED, with that purple. Okay, so this is now a Vue.js robot or something. Okay, but the point is it was very easy and very fun to build this. I hope that you also try it one day. Okay, back to code. So this is like a very simple program. We start by importing Johnny 5, and then we create a LED, and we tell it that the LED is on pin number 6. And that's what's happening here. If I find here pin number 6, it's right, it's connected to this one. Okay, so I can execute this. I will start this node, and right now we should see, yeah, the light is blinking. Yeah, the light is blinking. I know that this is very simple, but you know, when I first got a light to blink, it was like giving birth to a child, you know, because you know I am used to having my code to run on the world of the web, the world of you know, ideas, server. It changes some things on the screen, but it's not actually like material. It's not tangible. But when we enter in the world of Arduinos, suddenly we are on the real world, on the world of things that I can touch and I can, you know. It's awesome. Okay, so this is how you make a LED blink. Also, Johnny 5 has a pretty cool function that's this REPL inject, where it exposes variables to the console. So in the console, I can use this variable and do things with it. For instance, turn the LED off. I said turn the LED off. Turn the LED. Okay. First, I have to stop it because it's blinking, and so I have to stop the blinking. And now I can turn it off, or I can turn it on, or for instance, yeah, fade in. I think fade in. Okay, fade out. Okay, so it's very easy to work with this. Next, let's test a button. It's pretty much the same thing. We start by importing Johnny 5, and we instantiate a button, and we tell it that it's connected to pin number 2. And then we can register a set of events. In this case, I have down, so when I press the button, up, when I release the button, and hold. That is if I press, if I keep pressing the button. And so let me try it. Node 2. Okay, node 2. It's working, I think. Now, if I press this button, okay, up, maybe I should move here so you can see. Up, down, hold. Okay, cool, it works. Okay, buttons and LEDs, they are fun, but they are not that fun. Well, let's start working with an engine, a motor. So this is the code to work with Servo. That is this little engine here. And so yeah, it's also very simple. We instantiate the motor, and we call functions on that motor. For instance, sweep, and I can show you. Okay, and so now you know how to code a windshield wiper. So you can enter, you know, BMW or something. They will hire you to code the windshield thing. And also you have the API. I can say Servo go to 90 degrees. No, Servo stop first. Servo stop. Okay. Now Servo go to 90 degrees. Servo go to 190. Okay, it's working. Go to 10 degrees. Okay. It was moving, right? Yeah. So this is the Servo. So right now we have 3 simple elements, but okay, they are not very fun yet. So I thought, what can I do with these things? So I thought about creating a game. It's called the pressing button game. So this is a game where the player that presses a button more times, he will win. So this is how I created the game. I instantiated 2 buttons, and yeah, and then I keep track of the score, team white, team black, and I show that score. Let's see if this works. Okay, what's happening here? I lost the image. Okay, but I can show you here, I think. So, no, I cannot, because it's showing, should be showing here, right? And it's not working, yeah. I think you crashed my computer. Okay. Okay, so now we can press the button and the program will keep score. Okay, nice. So I thought I could take this to another level. And okay, git history. Oh my God, what is happening here? Okay, paymaster. Okay, so I thought that I could also add blinks. I will skip this step where I add like two LEDs. So when I press a button, the LED blinks. But I will go to the latest version of the where is my terminal? It's here. To the latest version of the game. Okay, and this is how it turned out. Compare with revision. Let's see what I have done. Okay, so since I am working with Node, and since Node is a technology that allows us to create services, why not bring all this to the internet? So that's what I did. I added a server, a socket.io server, and so when it receives an event, click white or click black, it will do basically the same thing. It will add a point, but it will also okay, it will blink the LED, and finally it will use this, this servo to track the score. So the little arrow will go to the left or to the right according to which team is winning. So let me start this. Okay, so this is my game now. I can press this button, and it's moving very slowly, but it is moving. So I have like a local game. But since this is now working with socket.io, I can also play it from the internet. So I created this game. I will let you guess which framework I used. But yeah, this is a game white versus black. And when I press this button, is it moving? Yeah, it's moving this way. And when I press this button, it is moving the other way, probably. Okay, it's working. But again, since this is on the web, we can go even further. And so I invite you to come play this game. You have to connect to my Wi-Fi because I had to set this all up before coming here. This is the NodeBot AP Wi-Fi, and the password is NodeBot. And you can enter this address. It's also, you can use that QR code, so you don't have to write this IP. And so, very simply, I have a multiplayer game, and everyone on the internet, no here, but on the internet, can play this game with me, which is a fantastic game. Click to the death, white versus black. It's a very interesting game, but since we are in Lisbon, I think we can make things a little more interesting and make it Sporting versus Benfica. So I want to see you all joining and making the arrow go to the place that you want. Okay, so this was my presentation. Before I go, I just want to make a little pitch, you see. I am writing a book on native mobile development using Vue. The book will be mostly with native script Vue, but also I will cover Wix. So this book will be available sometime next year, so you can please buy it if you are interested in developing native apps with Vue. Also, I don't see that many people are still playing, probably because I think most people here are geeks and are not very interested in Sporting or Benfica. Maybe I can make this more interesting. Vue versus React. Okay. So you can keep playing if you want. On my part, that's all. I hope you like it. I really meant to show you how easy it is. I didn't want to surprise you and think, oh, that is so awesome. I want you to leave thinking, oh my God, that is so easy. Yeah, so it's easy. Go use it, do stuff for your home or for your team in the office. Maybe when someone breaks the build, it will throw a dart at him or something like that. Or maybe have a counter for the number of clients that gather on that day. So be creative. And that's all. Thank you.